Welcome to our last day in Pilanesberg National Park, where we enjoy 2 more game drives and soak up this wonderful piece of the planet. Morning!
Morning. Off again.
It's our 4th game drive. We've got 2 today. We're going to do the morning one and the night one. It's a bit dark now. It's only just gone 6 o'clock. But we're off and we're going to see what we can find. Jeez, man.
The only reason why I spotted it is like you see it's got the neon color in the light. So it stands out amongst the leaves.
A kitten he's trying to find them.
Oh, so cool.
They used to be in every garden and today you hardly see them.
Yeah, but people.
Hello. How do you spot that?
Complete black face. From the mouth all the way out to the horns, completely black in face, and then also the male's horns will come and makes a little loop behind the ears when it curls up. Also your male's faces are also slightly a little bit more muscular, and then sometimes you'll see they'll also be covered full of mud. If you guys have a look right underneath this wildebeest eye, you'll see there's a small patch where there's no hair. That's a scent gland that the males uses. They'll actually rub their faces against wet mud, and then afterwards rub their faces against trees and bushes to release that mud against that tree with the male scent as well. And then often you'll see all of these animals being together, like your wildebeest and your zebras especially. As this wildebeest, they are all very selective grazers. So meaning that they prefer certain length and certain types of grasses that they like to feed on. And due to that, they'll sometimes stick around with giraffes. With zebras. See, the thing is with zebras, wildebeest and impalas, they'll all feed together by helping one another. As each one of these animals, they prefer certain levels of nutrition. So your grasses, if you have a look at your grass will have a top, a middle and bottom layer. Each one of that layers will have different nutrition in it. So that's why with your wildebeest, your zebras and even your impalas, all of them feeding together.
That makes a beautiful photo.
Now you guys can also see this is a male giraffe not only by looking at the bottom of his stomach where the genitals will be, but also by looking at the ossicones. The ossicones, the little horns on top of the head, you'll notice when he bends down he's completely bald on top of that ossicones. Males, they loses all their hair every time fighting one another. It's known as necking, where 2 males will hit one another the neck, and they'll also use that ossicone, that little horn on top of the head. It's a very thick hard bone that the males will hit it into another male's neck, trying to injure the other male. So the thing is, with your with the impact that the 2 males will hit one another, sometimes it even sounds like gunshots hitting one another like that. So the thing is, with that impact, they could easily break a vertebra. And unfortunately, being the tallest animal, not as much in Pilanesberg, it only happened here once before. But if you go down to like the Kruger side where there's very little trees, but the animals like the giraffes are much taller than the trees, they often do get hit by lightning as well. That's the other reason for giraffe also dying in nature. There is one or two of your lion prides is good in hunting giraffes, but most of the times males fighting.
Well, we've got another stunning morning here in Pilanesberg with the sun coming up. We've been so blessed with the weather. Not that many animals early this morning, but we have stopped for a warm drink at the Pilanesberg Centre, so hopefully we see more on the second part of the drive. That chameleon was cool though. There's another one of the hot air balloons out in the distance. There's a couple of blue wildebeest here taking advantage of the salt lick. No giraffes today. Right, we're back on the road again, and there's a giraffe just minding its own business and keeping a look at. Couple of rhinos here snuffling around. Shame they were just in the shadows a bit. In the shadow, which is a bit... So we zoomed off through the park at a great rate of knots after a couple of male lions, but by the time we got there they were way off in the distance following some prey. I couldn't keep the camera still enough to film them with the maximum zoom, but I managed to get a few photos. I haven't seen a great deal this morning, but you can always rely on seeing a zebra or 100.
Notice this is known as our birch or zebra. So the birch or zebra is...
Looks like the people in front started with a couple of rhinos.
The males will
They're
have
off.
a thick layer of skin between their two back legs. The males will have. Females don't have that thick layer of skin. Females will have two glands. Males will have their skin with a genital gland.
And more zebras to round out the morning.
Even when they're born, very small bodies with very long legs. Mainly they're being for safety purposes. There's also a big group of zebras together. It's known as a dazzle. You don't call them a herd. It's known as a dazzle of zebras, a group of them.
I think maybe it was a zebra.
Baby.
A little baby.
Beast. Still beast.
The lion hunt was exciting, but unfortunately it didn't work out for the filming. Our truck was full this morning and it's the first time we've had to sit together. So this meant we couldn't capture what was going on both sides of the truck. Back to the lodge for breakfast and a relaxing last day before our last game drive tonight. So peaceful out here under the shade. Just reading our books and listening to some music before we have to go and pack. We've got our last game drive at 3:30, so it's going to be very sad to leave. Okay, we're off on our last game drive and we've got another zebra crossing.
But I have hope that we'll be lucky with better one along the way. Very easy to tell if the zebra is healthy or not healthy. But they get killed very easy because as soon as they see danger, they give alarm call and run away. After 2 minutes, they stop and watch back what's going on behind.
And there's just a tiny little drop over
Very
there.
easy to tell if it's the male, if it's the male or female. For you to tell, you have to look on the things that look like the horns. With the males, they'll be thick, bald on top. With the females, they'll be thin, having hair on top. And the males are the ones that fight often. When they fight,
Is one
they use
sitting
their
down?
necks. While making each other, you can hear the blows 100, 120 meters away from them. You can see the one that is seated is chewing, but not feeding. All the antelopes, together with the giraffe, they have four stomach chambers. What they do, they feed after a while they rest. While resting, you see them chewing again. What happens is they regurgitate the food and chew the cud again until the food goes to the fourth stomach. They make sure that they take the nutrients from the food they were feeding on early.
Yeah. Wow.
Unlike the zebra, rhino, elephant. With
Wow,
these three,
there's
they
giraffe
only-
everywhere
only
tonight.
have one large
An
stomach, they
abundance
just
of
feed
zebras.
their stomach food. But this one, they are very selective, selecting the food which is very nutritious and palatable for them.
So you said the males are bald on top and the females have tufts?
Females they have thin ones and hair on top.
Because these look like they have hair. But is it not?
Thick and bald.
Thick and bald. Okay, so these are males.
Like the males, they do get bald.
And then the metatarsal glands on the impala, do any other buck species have that? Is it a unique thing to them? That's very cool. I never knew that.
And Israel, giraffes, I've noticed some of them are darker in colour and some are lighter.
Yes. The giraffes in this part, they could end up interbreeding.
So is it just a different species?
Yes,
or-
two
okay.
different species.
Okay.
Look on the movement of the legs as they walk.
There's like 45 drop back.
And another one.
Yeah,
Oh my God, loads
5 of them.
Yes, the males, you mean the
Oh, the colouring.
on the color, on their neck they are more black, and on the bum they are more white. As you know that the black or the dark colors absorb heat, and the white or bright colors reflect heat. Most of them when they'll be feeding, for example, when they're in a large herd and a predator like lion tries to attack them, as they'll be moving amongst themselves. The stripe should be confusing.
There's something over there.
The rhino well spotted. The stripe should be confusing the lion.
Right.
You see, they raise the tail when they run.
Yeah.
They use the tail like an antenna, like follow me mechanism. For others to follow just by looking on the tail.
Yeah,
And they
well,
will use
these
the
are the
barrows
best
as their
warthogs
shelter.
we've seen.
When they get in the barrow, they'll
It's
get
so
in
funny.
the barrow by reverse with the head facing outside. For safety, in case they can get surprised by a predator in the barrow. As they'll be running out, they'll be fighting back using the tusks. No parental care with the male. The male will just mate with the female, leave the female on her own. And looking on this one, you can see he's having big belly.
Yeah.
Seems like he's expecting some little one. Same as the rhinoceros, they regulate the body temperature by wallowing in the mud. Later, with the mud, yes, it's pregnant this one.
This one.
Good, it.
This one's pregnant.
It's pregnant this one.
It's a bloody totally missing out over there, and they come out.
They regulate the body temperature by wallowing in the mud. Later, as this mud becomes dry on the skin, it might lock the parasite. So they later go to the bush to rub the mud off. While rubbing the mud off, they'll also be removing the parasite, so mud locked.
Bird attack.
Seems like the barrow is somewhere in the area. As you can see, they are not moving. They are not running away from the area.
So they build a burrow with sticks and branches, or do they dig?
So again,
Do they build one with sticks and branches, or do they dig?
they like the more.
They dig,
Yes.
but they're still underground.
Yes.
Okay.
And they might have different holes.
Okay.
Oh, we might have seen you got food.
Beautiful.
And we stopped at one of the hides for refreshments, and there's a couple of giraffes and a zebra passing through. They're hiding behind the bushes at the moment. Trying to get a photo with them in the background. It's getting dark and a little bit harder to see, but we've come across two more rhinos.
Is that white on them from the oxpeckers?
So again, sir?
Yeah.
The white.
Yes.
Is that
It can also be from egrets.
egrets?
Okay.
This is the white rhino. In the past, we have black rhino and white rhino. This is the white rhino. And the name white rhino come from the Dutch people. But the Dutch were not talking about the color being white. They were talking about the shape of the lip being veiled.
The baby too.
Well, save the best until last.
Offspring of different ages.
We thought we weren't going to get a good look at any more elephants. We just had that big boy yesterday morning camouflaged by the grass.
Underneath
But
their
we've got a
legs is
couple
like
out in the
zebra
open here.
cushion. And elephants are like us humans, whereby you'll be left dominant or right dominant. Very easy to see that. For you to see that, you have to look on the tusk, because they tend to use one tusk often. The more they use the tusk, the more the tusk becomes short. If they'll be left dominant, you'll see the left tusk will be shorter than the right one. If they'll be right dominant, right tusk will be shorter than the left one. They have good memory, they do not forget. And with elephants, pregnancy period 22 months, almost 2 years. With the elephants in this park, the first ones which were introduced were the youngsters. Because there were no adults amongst them, they lost it as they got here. In the park, they would find the rhinos dead, but they didn't know what was the cause of the rhinos' death until they find some of these young elephants trying to mount on the rhinos. Then they realized that these elephants are not behaving well. They went to other reserves, tell them about the problem. They were given a few bigger ones. As the bigger ones arrived here, they started to teach the youngsters how to behave, and everything went to normal.
Well, that's our game drives done, and we're just having our last dinner. Wow, we were just finishing dinner when I saw a spotlight move across the field outside and saw this herd of elephants moving through. We rushed down and we've managed to capture them just as they were passing under the light. What a way to end our time here. About 6:10 in the morning on our last morning. Group of impalas moving through. Not sure whether you can see those through the fence. Nice gorgeous sunrise. I'm hoping the elephants from last night would have stuck around, but they seem to have moved on.
So sunrise, got another big travel day today, so off down to Cape Town, 2.5 hour drive down to Pilanesberg Airport, and then 2.5 hour flight to Cape Town, and then about an hour and a bit down to where we're staying tonight.
We've got a very early pickup. Our pickup's coming at 7 o'clock, so I have to get back to the room and take our bags down. So sad to be leaving. Well, sadly our time at Waimaratani has come to an end. Very, very sad to be leaving. We've had the most magnificent time here.
Staff are amazing, really friendly. Everyone's hello in the mornings. It's morning. So we've learned a few South African phrases. Morning is one, but they seem to just love to help out and do everything. So really happy with the service, and the place is amazing. Wildlife, the safaris, it's going to be really sad to leave, but we'll be back one day.
Yep. Yeah, it's a most exceptional setting, just having breakfast, looking out, having dinner last night. I nearly tipped the table over when we saw the elephants, but yeah, it's leaving the wildlife behind is going to be so sad, but it's a really special place. If you ever get the opportunity, make sure you come.
Yeah, it was an incredible place, and you know, just everyone's there to help, show you the wildlife. They tell you about what, you know, all the different things about the wildlife, the zebras.
So informative, aren't they? Yeah. Oh well, our ride will be here shortly, so we'll say goodbye to you, and we'll wrap it up for this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one. So take care, friends.
Cool.